Hello there, boys and girls. So, today we read such a great story. Thank you, Mr. Backer. And as readers, we are going to continue to read and describe characters in a story and explain how these actions contribute to the sequence of events. Readers, we have learned that characters are important and react in different ways to do things that happen in the story. Today, I'm going to teach you that readers study characters to interpret their feelings. One way readers do this is by keeping track of the story events in a chart so they can notice how the character is feeling in response to what is happening in the story. They do this to understand the character's feelings throughout the story. Watch me as I study the little girl in Thank You, Mr. Blacker. As I study her, I'm going to track my noticings on this T chart in my reading response journal that I have created. One side is going to say story event, and the other side is going to say character feeling. I'm going to look back over the story to notice events and specific actions. Then I'll think about how she was feeling in the response of that event. Hmm. Going to turn to page 2. And I'm noticing that in this part, I can see that the little girl is feeling excited and happy about the promise of knowing how to read. Her grandpa is talking with her about this promise of reading. And I could see here that she said, knowledge is like a bee that made sweet honey. You have to chase it on the pages of the book. He's trying to say that reading is very, very sweet. So she is so excited about that the promise to read is hers at last because she's going to learn how to read. So I'm going to jot that information. Talking with her grandfather about the promise of reading. And I know that Trish is feeling excited about this and happy. Hmm. Let's look at another event. Oh, I remember this event. She had a different feeling here because I remember that Trish was trying to read, but the letters were squiggly and they were hard. She had a really hard time just reading out loud, and the kids laughed at her. Hmm. from what I look also at the illustration, she doesn't look very happy. She looks upset. And I also remember her saying that she felt different on the page. Trish began to feel different. She began to feel dumb. So I think that because she was having such a hard time reading, she would get upset and she would just feel different. So I'm going to jot that down. I'm going to jot down my thinking and say Trisha tries to read, but the letters are squiggly. And she has a hard time reading aloud. Hmm. The kids laugh at her. So this was the event that was happening on this page, right? And Miss Acosta thinks that this definitely made her feel upset and different. Hmm. Let's look at another event in the story. So I see here, I noticed that she was walking with her grandma during this time, right? And we know that her feelings were changing because she started to speak to her grandma about how she's different. Hmm. But her grandma says to be different is a miracle of life. You see all those little fireflies? Every one of them is different. Do you think I'm smart? Trisha didn't feel smart, but her grandma hugged her. You are the smartest, quickest, dearest little thing ever. Right then, the little girl felt safe in her grandma's arms. Reading didn't matter much. So, what do you notice about these events, friends? Hmm, stop and think. What were the characters' actions in the story? How do you describe how she was feeling? Good thinking, friends. In this event, Trisha, she talks with her grandma, right? What does she talk about? She talks about being different. But then, as we just read, her grandma actually tells her that being different is a good thing. And then she gives her a big hug. So, her grandma tells her good things and hugs her. And it even said that the little girl felt safe. So, her feeling during this event in the story was that she felt safe. So, friends, as you continue reading your stories today, I want you to think about the character's feelings in response to what is happening. And you're going to stop and you're going to jot your thinking, just like Miss Acosta did. You're going to think about what's happening at that moment and how is the character feeling about the event that has just happened. I also want to let you guys know that it's important to study your character's feelings that are connected to the events in the story so that you can understand the story better. You can practice this in your own reading today. So today, friends, you're going to be going to Epic, and all of you have been assigned a specific book according to your level. So when you read your Epic book, you're going to stop and you're going to jot your thinking about how the character's feelings as certain events are taking place. Now, you can do it in your notebook first, and then you can transfer your information to your Google Classroom chart. Okay? So, this is your assignment for today. Happy reading, everybody.